Live on Facebook. Here we are. Ladies, welcome to Spiritual Events Directory page and Rebirth Magazine. And we are, I'm Michele Scott, and I'm founder of our wellness community. And I'm bringing into the space the contributors in Rebirth Magazine this month from our wellness community. And we've got now Sondre Callec is an events partner with our wellness community. And Sondre, your contribution in the Rebirth was all about the Wealthy Goddess Code. So we're going to talk
all about the Wealthy Goddess
about that. And Ema Muir, Transformation Coach, Unique Phoenix and Honey Matrix Group, is here to talk about her contribution. And Optimystic Xzavia, Psychic Medium, also here to talk about her contribution in Rebirth Magazine, which is just awesome. I hope that some of you, and if you're watching this now or watch it later, go and check it out. So Sondre, let's start with you. Tell us all about it, the Wealthy Goddess Code and the Wealthy Goddess community.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michele, for having us on here, and everything that you do for us in the wellness community, organising events like this for us. It's just fantastic. Really like heartfelt appreciation. It's a wonderful community to be part of. So thank you so much. Yeah. So my community is called the Wealthy Goddess community. And, you know, really what happened in my own journey about, coming into a space where I started to feel okay about myself, my own personal and spiritual development pathway, and the many years that took. I'd like to say that I was one of those people that evolved out of the cocoon and became a beautiful butterfly, but I did not. And my journey was really quite long. And, you know, every time I came across a new modality, I was like, oh my God, this is the one. This is the one I'm going to build my business around, and it's just going to be amazing. And what I've learned many years down the track is that it's not just one modality that's going to change a person's life. And it's not going to, even though it can be a really great, foundational piece in our business, what we want to do is we want to bring everything we know, our whole journey and our whole experience into creating our business. So for me, that really took on the persona. My avatar became a wealthy goddess, because a wealthy goddess knows what her value is. She knows the value that she gives to others and how she presents that in our marketplace, right? And so for me, it was just one of those, I can't say that it was an easy, fun progression. It was one of those progressions that kind of clunked along for a while until I went, oh, this is what I'm here to do, because my corporate background is sales and recruitment. So I found myself in this beautiful space surrounded by all these gifted, amazing women. And on one scenario, I'm in Denver doing another training because I like sparkles and glitter like everybody else. And I'm there and I've got all these gals and we've all gone out for dinner. I've organised it, from previous trainings and the beginning trainings. And I was like, oh my God, you girls are going to be so excited about what this is going to do for their business. And they're like, oh yeah, but now I can sell it. And I'm like, that's the easy part, right? And then when I looked around, the people that I was sitting with, they were like, yeah, not so easy and not so happy with my remark. And at that point I went, this is what I'm here to do. I am here to help other women be able to bring in everything it is that they do, create a program, and most importantly, be able to sell it and have conversations where they are truly helping another person inside of that conversation, whether they work with them or not, but they're there, they're present, and they're of service. Again, you can't get a better icon than a goddess for that. So yeah, it's always bringing back to the goddess, because I think we are all goddesses and we all bring an amazing wealth of experience and knowledge to our businesses. So I'm always thrilled to be playing in this space and talking to as many people as I can about what it is that they do. So yeah, that's me.
I love it.
Yes,
there were a couple of fabulous. Well, I love the way that you talk anyway. I love the words that you use when you talk. I love the little stories that you tell when you talk. But I love how you said that it's not just the one thing. The ugly duckling that becomes the beautiful swan has had a shitload of adversity that she's grown better through. And so I love that. And I also know, because I've heard you talk before, Sondre, that you do have an example of someone that, joined your program and absolutely turned that around like that. Do you want to tell us a little bit about her?
Yeah, of course. So my beautiful client, she was a published author, well, she still is because she's still here. She's a published author, and she also had a lot of modalities. And I think that, you know, for most of us that are on our spiritual and personal development pathway, we have a lot of modalities and we have a lot of experiences that those modalities have helped us through. And so often I call it the healer's vault. You know, it's behind us. We have all of this knowledge and all of this experience, but how do we channel it so that we're actually talking to our ideal client and we're talking about the results that they want, right? And often when we start out in a space, we talk about our modalities. We talk about, oh, you know, I'm an NLP coach, or I'm this, or I'm a that, right? And as much as our clients learn to respect the modality, you know, when we're working with it, they're not really all that interested in the modality to begin with. They're interested in the results. So if this was the mountain, you know, how do we get them up the mountain and down the mountain safely into the promised land? You know, we've got to talk about the results that people are going to get from working with us. And so this beautiful healer that I had all of these modalities, right? But she would go, okay, and somebody would ring, they'd have their 15-minute, you know, intro conversation, and then she would talk about a modality that she thought would fit that particular person and how she could help them. And what we did was that we got all of the modalities that she really loved to work with and created a program around those based on the results she said she wanted to get for her clients. And so I think that's probably quite different when we first start to think about how do we price and package what it is that we sell. We get very heady and we kind of step out of our heart, and we, you know, intuition kind of goes, hello, I'm over here. And we're going, no, we're going to fit it in the box, right? And so my job is to help you fit it in a box, but also stay aligned to your intuition. So my beautiful healer is a wonderful example of that, because she's being able to continue to add to what it is that she's doing, and she does all these little side projects, and so she's able to really enjoy all of her wisdom. And I think that's probably, you know, the thing in our space. We come with an amazing amount of wisdom, right? And how do we package that? So, you know, she's gorgeous. She goes out now. She has like 10K months are her regular monthly thing. But I remember the first day that she ran me completely, like we're both in tears, because she's just had her first 10K day. And we are just like, oh my God. And I'm like, oh my God, this shit works. And she's like, oh my God, this shit works, right? So we're both having this really joyful experience about, you know, how, when you know what the steps are, you understand what the process is, you have a reliable system that you're always going back to in terms of your conversation, in terms of your pricing and packaging, in terms of your offering. Brilliant. It's just
brilliant. I love it.
So much fun. So much fun. And I have lots of fun, which is really cool.
Yay! Thank you so much for sharing that, darling. And of course, I'll come back to you when we get to the end and we give a little COVID tip or two to our audience. So next up, our beautiful Ema Muir, transformation coach, and Ema, you've got Unique Phoenix, but you're also growing Honey Matrix. So tell us about you contributed in Rebirth as well. You told us a little bit about yourself. Tell us more.
Thank you so much. I agree with Sondre. I love this community and I really adore and so appreciate, like super grateful for how you've grown the community through this time. And in fact, it's felt stronger and more connected. And I just I'm completely in awe that you do that and you continue to do that. So thank you. I'm loving being a part of it and being connected to these amazing women. But that's probably a great part of my story, actually, because I didn't actually have great connection many moons ago and didn't have great relationships, and particularly the one with myself, and actually had a lot of blind spots about who I was and not very empowered, and I spent a lot of time anxious, depressed, scrambling. And I've come from a customer service background, so relationships has been absolutely a huge part of my life, and how I speak to people, how I communicate. So they're huge parts. And definitely I've clunked through coaching, because when I started, it was very, very systematic and very, very functional in the way that I approached it. So I've grown my spirituality throughout the process, added modalities, grown myself. And that's when transformation coaching emerged, because what I realized was I was continually transforming who I was yesterday, who I'll be after this, different all the time. And so that's where Unique Phoenix was born, because that's absolutely my core soul heart belief. We are, every single person, wonderfully unique creature. Any living thing on the earth is completely unique onto itself. And we rise up all the time.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, absolutely. And we rise up in any moment. So that's part of, that's a big part of what I do when I'm coaching and in the matrix, is to help people understand and give them, I call it tool belt. Love a bit of a tool belt. I'm a functional kind of a gal. So they have a tool belt that they can reach into at any time, because life isn't sunshine and moonbeams. And for me, I got stuck in my stories. I got stuck, in the dark, in like just this little tunnel vision about who I was in my life. And I didn't emerge. And so that's, that's got to be the favorite thing that I do in my business, is help clients emerge onto themselves and into themselves. Yeah. And it's beautiful to watch them. It's beautiful to watch that grow, and then to see them, because I still get to stay connected with a lot of my clients through Facebook. So I see posts, years later and think, wow, they're still doing it. And there's that tool that they're reaching for, because as much as I have, already tools around, one of my superpowers is that I'm always able to reach and grab another one intuitively when I am coaching and working with someone, because they are unique. So as much as I have a guide that I work people through and we play around with, it's still got to be unique to that person. So I get to reach and go, oh, what about this? I just downloaded that one for you, So we do, it's definitely intuitive. It's definitely moment to moment, because it also gives permission for my clients to do the same for themselves, to know that they can grab a little tool. Here's another little bit of creation. Here's how I can transform, and do it for themselves. That's my greatest wish for clients, is that I can do this. And if I can do it, so can you. So I do love that.
Yeah.
Love it. And now, did you have a particular person that you'd like to tell us about? You've told us.
I've got a couple.
Oh, great. Okay.
So my first one, and I've got to say, I still love being connected with this beautiful soul. She is a nurse and a highly intelligent woman. Absolutely love her. Beautiful, beautiful soul. And we were connected in another business that I was in. And she just kept coming with me for the ride and started working with me. Now, she was a nurse and being bullied, and quite severely being bullied.
Yeah.
To the point where she couldn't do her job, was having trouble administering to patients, and it just was really quite devastating, because she's an amazing nurse, amazing nurse. And so we worked together. And after that, I loved getting this phone call. She rang me and she said, Em, I did my superpower and I stepped into it and I walked into work and I had it all written down. And she went and she launched. She launched at them. She'd spoken to the union. She knew exactly what she could say. And then she had these amazing experiences afterwards. Mind you, wasn't treated fantastically after that either. However, she said, I just feel really strong. Like, I know I'm right. This is the best thing for me. And I'm in the system, and so it was amazing what she had empowered herself with. But what happened from there is she actually changed her specialty, went back to study and started working in a pediatrician, more of a kids field, and is advocating for kids. So she's able to now use all her stories from her childhood that disempowered her, and make them a way that she can serve. And she was seeing things in kids coming in that most nurses wouldn't have seen or picked up on, that stuff was happening in the background. So it's amazing. And her partner is now going into medicine as well.
Awesome. Oh, how fantastic.
It's absolutely amazing. And then the other one I quickly want to tell you about was a guy I worked with a few years ago. He's an entrepreneur, single entrepreneur, workaholic, had no relationships in his life. And even when he started working with me, he didn't want to. He actually had a meeting with me and went, nah, not doing it. Came back to me a few months later and went, I think maybe there's something in this. Because I'd given him a couple of things and said, just try those. And he goes, those things worked. The other things I'm doing aren't working. So what you said worked, let's do it. And we worked together for quite some time. He was quite resistant, but now he's still an entrepreneur running a company. He still travels the way that he does. He has beautiful relationships in his life that are trusted. He has very clear communication relationships in his business. So he was having a lot of
yes,
work with them, can't work with them anymore, work with them, can't work with them. A lot of that all the time. Yeah. And now he's worked with people for up to 2 years. But in his business, it's going to have an ebb and flow. People are going to move in and out as they upskill and move on. Yeah. That's part of what he does. He actually wants to upskill the people that he works with so they can go on and build their own businesses. He's phenomenal. But he's got a company now, a beautiful partner, traveling the world, living, and it's just, but he actually relaxes now. And he'll send me a message saying, I just went out to dinner with a whole bunch of friends and I'm actually going to sleep in and have, he never used to do that before. It was all work.
Beautiful. What you helped him to do was to transform into other areas of himself. And then that actually opened up new areas of life to him, and the relationship stuff. We all struggle at different times with different things. That's an awesome story. That's awesome. Both of those stories were absolutely amazing. So, and we'll come back to you, of course, too, for some COVID tips, because this is the time where we need to, I love how you said that, we need to be reaching up into that toolkit. Oh, we could do a little dance while we're here. Well, didn't that used to be a bit of a disco move?
Oh, definitely, I reckon.
I was watching, it just reminded me, sorry, this is a complete random. I was watching this morning, all of these chicks on the ABC, like this comedy thing. Oh my God, hilarious. There was one scene where she was dancing, get some people up from the audience, and the words that she put to these moves were unbelievable. So funny.
You've got
to watch it. You've got to watch it. And now we've got the beautiful Xzavia, our newest addition to the wellness community, psychic medium, Optimystic Xzavia.
Hello. Goodness.
Now, I know that you love your business. I'm putting you here, there, and everywhere, aren't I?
You've been busy.
I'm interviewing the shit out of you.
left.
And the emoticon for that.
You're helping me learn not to struggle with being humble, because I keep talking about myself all the time and I'm not used to promoting myself so much. So this is fun. They're getting me out of my comfort zone, so I really appreciate it. And I definitely yes, I'll shadow what the other ladies said about just really appreciating this. It's really, really good, and it's teaching us all how to use online more as well, because we can't really do that much in person. So this is fantastic, and we're learning some new skills and so many Zooms. I never would have thought I'd be learning how to use Zoom so much. So it's fantastic. So yes, I'm Optimystic Xzavia. I chose my name because I can often come across as annoyingly optimistic, but I changed it to a Y, so it's mystical, because a lot of what I do, people think is a lot of the woo-woo stuff, and I'm a medium, I'm a psychic, I have lots of different titles, and I loved how Sondre was explaining it, and I thought, now I have to reword what I'm going to say, because I would normally talk about all the modalities. So that's a really good tip, so I really appreciate.
Tell us just a little bit of your amazing woo, because you really are amazing.
The bubble, everything happens at the end, basically, that when I work with people individually or in groups, or sometimes often families, because someone will see me and then all the family members come after, they just send, and their friends, they just send everybody to me. My business is usually by word of mouth, which is fantastic, because it means I must be doing something right. The end result is to teach people to live a more optimistic life. I want to teach people to help life work for them. It's about the law of attraction, it's about energy, attitude, understanding why we're here, the contracts that we make. I help with cancelling contracts that we don't need anymore, so you can move on, connect to the other side, also being a medium, just even understanding why we're here, why we go, how it works on the other side, and everything is really, really important. Connecting with past lives, helping clear things that we've brought. That's one of my favorite things to do. Sometimes we carry through things and we have repetitive things happen in our lives and think, why is this happening again and again? The same relationship issues keep coming up again and again. I think I've learned from them because there's a past life, something that didn't quite get healed, and we came back to learn. And if you haven't quite learned the lesson, it's going to keep repeating until you figure it out.
Yeah,
Must be
absolutely.
something in there still. So I help detach that, so you can move on and heal it, send it away. And sometimes there's so much more to it. We have more than one life happening at once, and that's just a big mind blow that I like to teach people about, because the more you know, the more you'll grow, basically. So, and we never stop learning. I never stop learning. I've done a lot of different courses, spent some money on some courses, and learnt things over the years after I had all my kids, actually. Is when I started learning in my very early 30s. And
you look like you're still in your 30s.
I am. Thank you. I've been doing
Really out of your 20s.
Really well.
still just from 39 in a few months. So yeah, I just started learning very early 30s, about 31, and but I realized I'd been doing a lot of this stuff all my life and hadn't even realized. But then also, so some things I have, say, certificates for, but so much I actually channel while I'm working. So I learned new concepts, and what I love is there's no such thing as coincidence. I learned about, say, the two lives happening at once, for example, while I was channeling, and I thought, oh my goodness, I didn't even know that was a thing. And then the universe will guide me to a book that I pick up a week later, talking from Dolores Cannon, for example, talking about exactly that. And I'm like, holy hell, I didn't even, thank you, universe, to help me confirm that I'm not going crazy. So then, of course, I attract customers after that all have similar stuff. So then I learn more, and then I can teach about it. So I just constantly growing, learning. And if you're not learning, then life would just be boring, I suppose. So I continually pass on everything that I learn and channel onto my clients. I love seeing their life change. I get so much beautiful feedback. Some of the tips and tools, they'll just say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I haven't been doing that all this time. I'm so glad I learnt now how to manifest and attract in what I actually need, to being in flow, having your chakras balanced. So many people have never had a chakra balance before in their lives, and then as soon as it's done and they learn not only about getting it done, but how to maintain it, because I want to teach people how to heal yourself. It's not me doing the healing, I'm just a conduit, which keeps me humble for spirit to teach you how to help yourself and to maintain it along the way. So when I do chakras, it's not like, and I'm not putting Reiki down at all, but it's not like fluffy, relaxing. I talk the whole time I channel, and I teach the clients about why everything works, how it's connected, what you can do to keep it going, so you don't have to see me and keep coming back, kind of like a chiropractor. I don't want to see you for a while. Off you go and work on yourself. What I do with people and teach them is, it's messy, it's raw. It's not if you just want some answers and not do any work. This is going to be like, this is the phoenix, this is the rebirth, the transformation, this is all that stuff. So I help with some big stuff.
Yes, lovely.
Childhood, past trauma, lots of big things. I could, yeah. Twin flame as well. So if anyone doesn't know anything about that, I help with relationships and finding the right partner for you. But after you work on yourself, it's always number one, because you attract a reflection of yourself. So whatever stage you're at in your life as well, you attract that kind of partner too. So help with pulling all that stuff out, helping you work on exactly what you need to make sure you're in the right place within you before you attract the perfect partner for you as well, if you need one, that is too.
Yeah, I love it. And because because I did interview you in our wellness community this week, I know the story, but I thought, and I'd love you to tell it again, but you can tell a different one if you want to. But
okay.
the story about the past lives and the little boy.
Yes, that's one of my favorite stories. I have permission from the family to share, because it's a really quick realization of how past life healing can help. So, and I don't often do that many with children, but I love talking about it, because people can often forget that children and younger kids need healing and balancing and chakras and past life stuff too. And things wouldn't come up as an issue unless it needed to be healed. So one of my favorites was, I'll try to make a long story short, a little boy came to see me for one of my children's meditation classes, and he was only 4, but he's already a little guru and loved doing his meditations. It's adorable. So he's very obviously in tune and switched on. And the mother, a few days later, she was very heavily pregnant, knew when the baby was coming, knew she couldn't breastfeed, and they were cleaning bottles together. He was up on the step helping wash the bottles ready to sterilize. And it sounds a bit full on, but he said, Mum, I remember doing this for my babies before they died. And she went, what? what on earth? Like, okay, that's interesting. And so she thought, what if there's some issue there to do with when his sister's born? We need to clear that. Maybe I remember at Xzavia, she at the meditation talked about past life. So she rang me, told me about that. I came straight over, expecting it to be something to do with that. And because he was a child, I didn't explain to him what I was seeing. Usually when I'm doing a past life, I just touch you and tune in. I see everything like a movie. I can zoom in, pause, rewind, fast forward, all that kind of stuff, ask questions if I need more details. But for him, I just let him play his iPad and kept it all within me, cleared the life that happened and integrated any good things back into him that he might need for this life and in the future, and then told the mother about it. So try not to get into too much detail because it's not very pleasant. It wasn't exactly what I expected either, but in that life, he was a husband. He had, with his wife, he had twin babies and a toddler. And the wife was mentally unstable, unfortunately. And in the days that this was based in this era, in those days, someone with issues would get put in a mental institution, be zapped, and lots of other things. So he didn't want to put her there, and he kept telling me, I'll look after her. We've got it all under control. We're totally fine. You know, she'll be fine with me. But one day I saw he'd come home from work and he couldn't find she's inside, and he's like, where are the children? She drowned them in the river behind their house, all three of them. So that was very traumatic. And they didn't show me all the details, so I didn't have to explain them to him, obviously. So I just cleared it all, helped him heal from that. He's just playing his iPad and not knowing any different. And when I explained it to the mother, she burst into tears because it wasn't really about the kids even so much. It wasn't going to be an issue with his sister. It was actually, she told me, he's afraid of the water. He's never has baths. He's a 4-year-old kid that doesn't want to, he'll wash the dishes with her and that's it. Like, he won't have a bath. She has to literally sponge. She'll get a face washer and sponge clean him every time because he won't get in the bath. So, and scared of the water in general. So I thought, wow, that's amazing to know that somehow came through. And so no wonder this came up and that he said this out of the blue, because a lot of people just, if you're not already kind of spiritually inclined, if a kid said that, you're just going to be like, what are you talking about? Interesting imagination. So it's really important to pay attention to what kids say because they're way more in tune. They're very, very shiny and they grow out of it as they get older. So the best part of that, even not just finding out that he was scared of water, was the actual outcome. So later, I think it was that day or the day after, she sent me, I think it was later that day, she sent me a photo of him laying on the floor on his stomach, pretending to swim, saying he wants swimming lessons. So she thought it was amazing. Yeah, she put it on Facebook, thanking me and saying how all my friends who know him know that he's afraid of the water, and look, he wants to go swimming, he's pretending. And then a week after that, she posted another photo of him in a bubble bath playing, having and everyone was commenting, saying, which gave me beautiful confirmation that wasn't just her saying it, that everyone's commenting saying, oh my goodness, that's amazing, I can't believe he's in the bath, wow, what did she do? And so that was just so cool. And obviously in the earlier days I needed that confirmation to know that I was on the right track. Now I don't need to get the feedback because I know whatever I do works. But how cool was that? That little boy would have gone
so cool
years without having baths and showers and things, and now he's just a normal little kid enjoying life like he should because of the past life. So
wow,
yeah,
that's amazing. That's an amazing,
absolutely amazing.
That's why I love it. That's a quick example of how it can happen. Other things could unravel. You don't even know. I just clear whatever comes up. They might not pinpoint exactly what it is, but then it's always really recognizable. The client would often just go, oh, that makes so much sense. And it's not what you would expect at all. Like, it can just,
fantastic.
It's just
Thank you so much, darling. And now these two bloody rabble-rousers that have, joined us at the final hour. Better late than never, you two.
Sorry, I got the time wrong.
Welcome to Elkie and Julia from Spiritual New Beginnings, also contributors in Rebirth Magazine in our August issue. So, ladies, we're just perfect timing because we just got up to you two. So, tell us a little bit about Spiritual New Beginnings.
I'll leave it to you, Julie. You can start.
Okay. We have a wonderful building in Frankston, and we've set it up as a healing centre, which is something we've both had a dream of for many, many years. it's a place where we both practice from, and we also offer a place for other practitioners. So it's a very collaborative, it feels lovely in there, and it's just a lovely place that unfortunately doesn't do much at the moment because of the close
We're in
down.
Victoria, Australia, and it's isolation big time. We're not allowed out.
Are we all in Victoria?
No.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
All in Victoria. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So-
do love it. We've had a wine and wellness evening there, and we were due to have our last one was due to be there as well. We thought we'd be safe, didn't we? Because
We
you've
did.
now built that beautiful room there out the back.
Yeah.
But that's a shame.
Yeah,
isn't it?
waiting.
Yeah, it's sitting there waiting.
It is, but yeah,
give
we're
us,
ready. We're ready to go when we
yeah.
can,
Yeah. We're not going anywhere.
whenever we can.
And
Yeah.
we've learned to adapt to the situation, as have most people. You know, we've taken a few of the things that we do online. So Julia's
Yes.
doing yoga online and teaching drawing online. And I'm trying to get the kids thing off the ground. We've had a few sessions, but it's the biggest obstacle that I have with the kids is that they spend a lot of time on screens. So even though we're not doing computer stuff, we're still on a screen. So
Yes.
that's my biggest obstacle with them. So I'm still trying to work with that, but we'll get there.
Tell us a little bit about that, because I love your girls program, your teens, tweens program. Tell us a little bit
It's
about that.
an after school program, and also during the school holidays. So it's aimed at building confidence, building, dealing with anxiousness. And it's a huge problem in primary school. The biggest issues that kids have at primary school is depression and anxiety. And I find that really sad that in our society today, that's what kids are dealing with. They should be being kids, having a good time, instead of dealing with depression and anxiety and self-harming, even at primary school. So it's a very relaxed program. We play games, we do a little meditation. I ask them questions without them realizing that they're being asked questions. We deal with issues that are going on at school or going on at home, but we do it in a relaxed way. It's usually while they're doing something else, and that's when they relax and they chat. So I'm very passionate about that. I run programs for parents. They're harder to get along than the kids, but I will persevere away with it, because parents have a big impact on their children's outcomes because of their own parenting, and getting them to understand their own childhood and their own way that they've been parenting and how that impacts their kids. It's wonderful to see it when the penny drops for a parent. Yeah.
Love it. And of course, Elke, can you do that via Zoom? Can you have consultations with parents?
We can. We
Via
don't
Zoom?
have any at the moment. They're just so busy doing homeschooling and trying to juggle jobs and everything else. So we don't have any programs going for the parents, but I've got a few kids coming along. So I've got about 6 at the moment.
Yeah, wonderful. Do you have a success story? Do you have a story of a
Julia's
child
got a great success story for Hanuman healing, which is one of the modalities.
yes, talk about
we offer.
Hanuman healing.
Julia?
Well, that's a wonderful modality that would be just fabulous at the moment. But of course, again, we're not allowed to do it, which is a shame. So it works with the energy, clearing emotional blocks that are stored within the body. So when we have an experience, we have a reaction to it, we have a memory of it that fades, but we have an emotional, also a memory that's stored. So Hanuman healing works energetically to go in and actually start to free up that memory, so we actually start to see life as it is today, rather than clouded and by the memories that also make us have different coloured glasses on to experience the here and now. I had a woman who came to see me. She was very driven, but she was very unhappy, and she had terrible skin. And how old would she be? Early 30s maybe, if that. And she came from quite a family who'd been through European hardships, like, wasn't Auschwitz, I don't think, but that sort of thing. So they were a family of survivors. They didn't even comprehend that they, second generation, she was the third, that they could actually thrive. So it was more just, no, we can survive, and there was no ambition to be anything more. So this woman wanted to be more, but she felt really guilty, and the parents never supported her. So she tried to do everything to actually, you know, notice me, love me, all this. So we worked a lot initially with breaking down that energetic hold that the family had over her. And so it didn't take that long, actually, but after a few visits, and then her face started to clear, and she started to have a relationship with her family they were overseas, so she went to sort of visit them, and just that she was able to speak from a clearer point of view without those sort of emotional, energetic hooks that we sort of get caught in. It's like a spider's web that we get caught in. Once we step back into the home, the family, we slop often back into being the child. So she was able to maintain herself as this more independent, thriving adult. And her parents actually were able to start to feel her differently. And even the father even sort of said words of tenderness that he'd never said before, because somewhere the energetic relationship had shifted. Her skin was beautiful. She was even able to open up and have a relationship, whereas before she'd always keep them at bay because she didn't see that they were. So, I mean, and it works on many levels, but that was just one of them.
That's fantastic. I love it. Thank you very much, ladies. Now, we thought we would end our session with, you know, we are in the midst of this pandemic. There's lots of different points of view about it. It's affecting, we're all in it together and yet have very different personal circumstances. And so I thought rather than not acknowledge where the whole world is at, perhaps we'd go around and we'd give our audience a tip or tool. How were you getting through it? I know we might start with you, Emma. I know that Elke, referring to parents homeschooling and, you know, trying to do it all. You're one of those parents.
Yeah, I work part-time and I have my own business, and I've got 3 beautiful kids that are with me. So I don't really talk about homeschooling. I do want to say I'm actually, because I'm not a teacher in that way. I am a teacher, but and a guide, but not in terms of that. So really I'm there to emotionally support my children. That's my role as their parent right now, is to emotionally support them and to be authentic with them and let them know how I'm doing as well in the moment that I'm doing it, so they can see it's okay if they have a shit moment too, because you know what, we're all going to have them. We're all going to have our tanties. We're all going to have a moment where we're just blissfully amazed and, oh my God, I'm doing it. And then the next minute we're like, shit, I'm not doing it. So for me, my tip is really about connection. And it's how we're staying connected, because obviously as humans, you know, touching is huge, absolutely huge. We're born to touch. Physiologically, that's why our nerve endings are on the ends of our skin, because we're designed to touch each other and feel and heal and all that kind of stuff. So for me, connection is massive. So my tip is make a list and include your kids in it. Include your kids in a list of people that they would like to speak to as well, and connect with them, whether it's in a text message and asking permission. I'd love to catch up with you, see how you are, because I know for some people, they're just having a moment. They need to go back into their cave. They just want to rest and sit. And so a phone call might be too much, but text message might be beautiful. And same for the kids. How do we want to connect? And let's stay connected. So daily, I'm just messaging a friend or phoning someone. And now I phoned a friend this morning because she texted me back. I thought, oh, I'm feeling this is a bit more than a text message conversation. Great conversation. We're going for a walk next Friday, because 2 people can do that. So make a list of the people in your life that you feel drawn to, that you feel like, I want to connect with them. Either phone them, call them, Skype them, Zoom them, and stay connected daily, because that is the most important thing we can do to keep unity as humans and as human souls, is to stay connected.
Beautiful. What about you, Sondre? What would be your tip, your tool?
Excuse me. Well, we just celebrated my youngest daughter's 14th birthday 2 days ago. And so, you know, that requires a little bit more orchestration than the normal birthday, but kind of less all at the same time. So it was kind of interesting. And so what I did was I invited her grandparents, I invited her siblings, and I invited some really dear friends. That I think they were the first people. They went, oh my God, we're going to have a Grace. We were so excited. They were the first people to know. So they were all on the Zoom, and Auntie Hu couldn't make it. Huriana couldn't make it, but everybody else made it. And it was just really, really interesting because my business has been online for the last 2 years anyway, because my husband had a motorcycle accident. So I had to move everything that I was doing to online. So it's become quite normal for us to be on a Zoom talking to the grandparents or doing all those sorts of things. So for us, it was a beautiful way to connect. The eldest sibling sent this humongous bouquet of balloons, which of course Grace paraded for the whole day in front of her Zoom meetings because all of her school is online as well. So it's just really about how you can bring in some more fun. Right?
Yes,
for us,
fun.
It's all about fun. We've removed our dining room table, basically because Paul needed a table in his office, but we put the table tennis table in where our dining table used to be, right? So that we can all participate, we can all have fun. We do all sorts of different things. I think the other week we all gathered around and made wontons and just things where we're participating more fully. But I need to tell you this really cute little thing that happened. So my eldest daughter's 33 or 34. Sorry if I've got that wrong, La. And my granddaughter, who is 8, was all worried because Mummy wouldn't have any presents, right? And I was like, oh, like, how do we do that, right? So I just got her on a Zoom and then I showed her all of the things that she said that she wanted to buy Mummy, and we just did the online shopping together. And it was just hilarious.
Awesome.
It was so much fun. And Demi's
Awesome.
like, oh, Grandma, you're the best. And I'm like, oh, I know. So much fun. So we just had so much fun. Just sort of like, think of anything that will bring people together,
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Online scavenger hunt is the next thing that we're up to. So yeah, it's all good.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
So we've got Emma had connection and Sondre's added some fun to that. Now we've only got a few minutes, ladies. We've got to get out of here because somebody else is coming into the space. So Xzavia, what would be your tip or tool?
My tip would definitely, I love those, and to help with those as well, I would love to add to stay away from things that would induce fear, because they'll help bring the joy and the connection more, so you can focus on those amazing things.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I do not watch the TV because I won't know about most of this stuff going on if I don't even watch it. Don't need to know. And most people know that a lot of what the media shows us is inflated, overdone. It's meant to scare us. So that's my tip, is to just stay away from social media breaks whenever you can, and just focus more on the connection and the fun, which is exactly, but if you balance it out by not buying into everything that makes you scared, because I don't know why they like to do it, but it just induces fear. And it just, especially seeing people, this is also another tip, is to stop being judgmental of other people's beliefs around all this stuff.
Yeah, everybody has their own.
A lot of hate gets thrown, and it's made to divide us, and they show us things about the people that are standing up and everything, for example, because they want you to get angry at them. But everyone has their own beliefs and their own feelings, and they're not doing things because they're nasty.
So empathy is very, very important. So we've got connection, we've got fun, we've got empathy, we've got stay away from things that are really just needlessly putting a lot of fear into us. And Alki and Julia, couple of minutes. What is your tip and tool?
One of the spiritual values that we follow and beliefs, I'm going to give a quick plug to our spiritual teacher who we've been working with for over 10 years now. And he's done a series of podcasts with a TV producer, and it's called Out of the Box Chat. And the first one, there's 2 online at the moment. They're really, really worthwhile listening to.
Right.
It's been through his teaching that we've set up our centre over the last, how long? It's just over 2 years, isn't it? We've been in business. Anyway, my tip would be everything that all the girls have said already.
Yeah.
Plus, I've taken myself off social media. And that, I think that's been one of the most freeing things. Not that I spent a lot of time on there, but I was being sent stuff from well-meaning people, friends, and I was inundated, overloaded with information. And it's like, at the end of the day, I was going, I don't know anymore what's right and what is believable and what's not believable. So I just stay with we're taught when anger's in, love is out. So my focus, my focus and Julia's focus is on being more loving to people. So whatever that means for everybody.
Beautiful.
Whether it be an act of kindness to somebody else, or
Yes.
as everybody's been saying, picking up the phone and ringing somebody, or
Yeah,
texting somebody. It's connection. You know, we're all connected, and we need to be connected. So I'll get off my soapbox now and leave it to
Beautiful. Well, that's all we've got time for, ladies. That was absolutely amazing. I love that. I love that. That's really quite simple, Elkie. If anger's in, love is out. So if love is in, we can get through anything. If love is in, then we are automatically going to connect. We're automatically not attached to fear. We're automatically in empathy and compassion for everybody, no matter where they are at. For me, my tip is, it's always been fantastic. A fantastic tool for me is put yourself in the other person's shoes. And the minute that you do that, the perspective is changed, your heart changes. And when that changes, everything changes too. So thank you for watching. And if you're watching this on the live later, make some comments. We'll all come back. We're going to share this around, and we'll all come in and out and answer your questions. Yay! Thank you, ladies. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you too.
Beautiful.